Welcome to the very first edition of the Youth Care Podcast, where we talk about everything related to young people's health. I'm your host, Albert Chinyende, and I'm not alone. I'm me.
Oliga Tutu, and thank you so much for joining us today. We're super excited to have you here.
Very excited. Olivia, what's today's talk?
So today is basically all about understanding the basics of self-care. Now this is the first episode, so obviously we want to get into the nitty-gritties of what self-care really is for you, for me, and for our guest. Of course, it's not just Albert and I today. We do have a guest with us. His name is Daliso Zulu. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
How are you doing, my guy? You're good, aren't you?
Of course, I have to.
Inclusivity, I mean, hey.
Please and thank you, gender equality. Nice. Now, before we get started into today's conversation, Daliso, under a minute, who would you say Daliso Zulu is?
I'll keep it very, very brief. So, I am a youth advocate, can I say, or a peer educator, a peer-to-peer educator.
Yeah.
I'm also an aspiring representative as well. I will not mention any names.
We're not dropping names.
Exactly. So, yeah, but overall, I'm a young person.
A young
I
person.
enjoy to engage with young people in the community. I enjoy to interact with people in the community as well.
Alright, so that is what makes it different. That's curious to know.
What makes me different?
Yeah.
I think I'm open-minded. That's what makes me different. I understand, yes, there are a lot of open-minded people, but it's the ability for you to learn constantly. So I like to learn, I like to understand new things because information is ever-changing.
I thought in his introduction he's going to say he is a young person who loves talking about sex.
I mean, okay, yes, I do. I won't shun away from it. I won't shun away from it, but at the end of the day, it's about informing the young people out there.
Yeah.
So it's not just about talking. It's not talking about sex all the time, but it's about making the right informed decisions as young people in the community.
You know that's part of self-care. Indeed. So Olivia,
So today, yes.
how did you, to you, how you define?
That's putting me on the spot though. Wasn't that supposed to be Delisa's question? No.
From perspective of it, from the getting belly.
So self-care for me is basically, first of all, it starts with self-awareness, understanding who you are and what works well for you. And then from there, taking care. I'm not supposed to use the word care, but it's basically taking care or taking deliberate steps into ensuring that you are protecting yourself and you are constantly in touch with who you are. I feel like that's what self-care is.
Yeah, I like that.
What's self-care for you before a guest comes in?
Or for me, I think it's an equal balance between the mental, physical, and the psychological aspect of a human being balanced.
Been
At a
balanced.
stage where everything is the right place.
Yeah.
To a better jam.
Nice. What do you think? No, actually, this is the question that is directed to you. Delisa, what is self-care? Like really, not the relaxation, not the,
No, I think you basically given out what self-care is.
Yeah.
It's you taking time away from your day-to-day life to just help you improve on your healthcare and your well-being. So overall, as I would have mentioned, there's the physical aspect, there's the emotional aspect.
Yeah.
All those aspects have to be taken care of because, in today's world, everything is quite fast-paced. You've got a lot to, especially for like adolescents. They've got school, they've got work, they've got family, they've got friends. So you'd find all these things somehow compile and then it becomes a little bit too stressful for one individual. So self-care actually is everything that you had mentioned. It's you taking time away from your day-to-day life to just help you unwind,
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're really you're looking after your mental, your well-being. Yeah.
Nice. So self-care is not just focused on mental health, because I think mental health is now a big thing, right? Like any minor inconvenience you find an adolescent say, I'm guarding my mental health, I'm protecting my mental health. So it goes beyond the mental capacity of a person or the well-being. It's more of what you're eating, rest, exercising, right? I hope you guys do go running, because I do.
I actually participate in marathons as well.
Oh, nice.
I didn't, but you should, man.
You're starting.
But I don't play football, so
Yeah.
all right.
Yes.
Nice. Now, why is self-care important for adolescents especially?
Number one, I believe it helps eliminate anxiety. Because, as I said, there are a lot of pressures that we as young people are facing, especially in today's timeline. Because you find there's a lot of exposure, where we're exposed to a lot of things you get. So, when you see a particular person in your life, maybe say they're going through a particular phase in their life and you feel like you've been left behind, it does build that anxiety.
Right.
So, the importance of self care, number one, it helps eliminate the anxiety that you are going to come across. I think another thing, it also helps to foster healthy relationships because the fact that you're able to take time away from your business schedule and think about yourself, it's going to help you relate. It's going to help you communicate more effectively with people, with family, even with your colleagues as well, depending on what sector you're in, be it in school, be it in work. You're going to foster a healthy relationship, and you know how you're going to relate with the person. You're going to know how to sympathize with the person. It also brings out some self-confidence in yourself, because it's not all the time that you'd have everything in check. At some point, you need to wind down. At some point, you need to reflect on certain things. So all those elements are very vital, like very, very vital for self-care to be very effective.
Alright, so what do you think are some of the myths that are surrounding self-care?
The myths that surround self-care, I've heard this one too often. They say mental health is for people. Self-care is for people with mental health problems. And it's unfortunate to hear that, because we're all human. It doesn't really matter whether you've got a positive mental mindset or a negative mental mindset. At some point, you need to take care of yourself. It's literally in the definition, self-care. So that doesn't, just because you're doing self-care for you, and self-care varies from people. Your type of self-care routine will differ from his self-care routine. But it's a wrong notion to say that it's for people with bad mental health. That I do not agree with 9 times out of 10. As long as you are just being human, there are going to be external stresses that are going to, pound on you.
And you boy pressure is everywhere.
Indeed, because one, if you're in school, you got exams that you have to take off. You got C's that you have to
You're speaking directly to our button.
You've got family, because your family be like, we expect good grades of you.
They're expecting good grades.
So now, if you don't perform,
What happens?
you need self-care. You need to take care of your well-being, because school of today, I'll speak in today's timeline. School today is actually quite different, because information is fast. There are a lot of technology that you have to,
Catch up on.
Exactly. So we cannot relay the information that was back in, maybe say, the early 80s to today's information, because there got so many components that also ease onto that stress.
Yeah. Albert, what's your go-to self-care routine or practice?
I practice. I like my alone time, first of all.
What do you do when you're alone? Do you just sit and say, I'm alone, I like this?
No. I get to rewind, think, more calm. Then the other thing I do is that I sleep.
So sleeping is a form of self-care.
It does it for me 9 out of 10. Because let's say I'm stressed. What do you know is that? Because sometimes people...
sleep it off.
Yeah, people talk. What's on my note? I'll be there sometimes. Okay, I'll think, I'll strategize. Then after, a good nap. A good pause or one. I'll be alright.
And Delisa, what's your go-to self-care practice?
Number one, I think for me, walks. I enjoy taking long walks because it helps me clear my mind. I'm also eating healthy as well.
Eating healthy.
And I'm eating as well.
Yeah, eating as well, but healthy eating. I mean,
Healthy eating. Not just eating.
Not just
healthy.
eating.
Don't go get a burger and
Eating as well. So have a balanced diet. I think have all components, or maybe you have protein, your carbohydrates, or essential vitamins. All those also help, because at the end of the day, you're trying to unwind. You're carrying yourself from the stresses of life. What else? I like to walk. Go outdoors, guys. I feel like don't always be in a confined space. Be one with nature. There's one big benefit I enjoy about going to nature: fresh air.
Right, and just being able to see all the nature.
Exactly, because I think Mother Nature has this thing to her that it just
Healing power.
Exactly.
It just like
You just
soothes
this
you.
peace of mind. This, as you say, being demure. As you say, I please don't call me the
Very demure.
please. I'm young, but I'm more than bad as well. But always finding spaces that's going to tone you down away from the busyness of your day-to-day life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just one more thing. I read somewhere that self-care equal to self-esteem. Because when a person, let's say, they're practicing self-care, you set certain boundaries with yourself, even in what you can take, what you can't take, and the techniques and all that. Yeah. Does that equal to being selfish?
No, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because being selfish is mostly thinking about you all the times in different aspects of your life.
Yeah.
But when it comes to self-care, you are prioritizing your well-being. Remember, it's in the definition. You're prioritizing your well-being. So for you to shun away from, the ups and downs of life, pressures of life, it's not being selfish. Because you need time to recuperate.
Yeah.
It's not all the time. Because, mind you, the more stressed you are, you're going to burn out. That's why you find certain people just drop. And I'm pretty sure in today's landscape, you find that's why there are a lot of people who are experiencing strokes.
Yeah.
People who have high blood pressure. Depression as well is also a rise because of all these contributing factors.
So much going on.
Yeah, so self-care is not selfish. You're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to come take care of yourself the way you take care of yourself. You take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself first before you have that ability
To take care of other people, yeah.
So
and
it's not being selfish.
And I also think when you are looking after yourself, you give other people an opportunity to experience the better you, because you have enough rest, you have the right mindset in terms of like mentally, emotionally, even physically. When you feel the best, when you feel like a badass, you feel you look good, you're well rested and stuff like that. It also allows you to just be the better version of yourself towards other people in terms of relationships and pretty much everything around you. So I do not, and I would never equate self-care to being selfish, because at the end of the day, we all need that time out and say, this is me, this is Olivia time, and this is what I would do so that I am a better version of me with my friends, with my family, and pretty much everyone in my space.
Yeah, and also think it sets up a standard of how people should take you, because you give them the guideline, you give them the layer.
Yeah.
I'm like this. See if they take you as you portray yourself.
Yeah, I think also maybe to add on to it, it also just helps you understand yourself more. You say it.
Yeah.
And you become less dependent on people.
Nice.
Because the more you're somebody, you lose your sense of identity, because you are so reliant on many people. You're so reliant on people's opinions most of the time.
Yeah.
So you become very dependent on yourself. It helps you understand yourself more. It helps you make informed decisions and just know what you want overall for your well-being.
Because there's actually people who can't spend 10 minutes alone. Like they feel it's weird. They feel, they constantly want to be in talks with someone. They want to communicate with people. They want to be around people. So if they spend a night alone, it feels awkward to say, why am I alone? But then you need that time. You need to get in touch with yourself, even as you're getting in touch with those around you or the things around you.
Let me give an example. Let's say introverts. Those people don't have that social capacity to socialize.
Social bando it up.
For people like that, is that healthy? Only to intend with self-care.
I feel it's a little bit of both. Because yes, you have time to yourself, but it's not, you need to understand also from someone's point of view. Socializing is actually quite important, because you get to understand yourself more than just seeing yourself from your own point of view.
Yeah.
Because you would say, I'm a kind person, but somebody will see something
Different.
you get. No, I'm a giver. And someone else's eyes, you get.
You give to yourself.
Exactly. And as much as you are an introvert, but socialize it. I'm pretty sure an introvert has that one particular person they conversate.
Yeah.
They are not solely to themselves, because at some point you're going to crowd your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be like, am I good enough? Why don't I have friends? Why is this happening? So
You're going to be stuck up in your head.
yes,
Yeah.
and that defeats the whole premise of self-care, because it's not just about you taking. Yes, it actually is about you. It's about you taking care of yourself, but it's also about taking care of yourself through a different lens of life. You can socialize.
Nice one.
You can socialize with people. That's self-care. You're going through a problem, right? You don't have the solutions to it. Conversate with somebody who you feel like may be able to assist you.
And that persuade yes.
Yes.
Nice.
That is self-care, because you're not just solely making it self as it's supposed to be, but you're socializing, you're engaging with other people.
Yeah.
Because it's not just your point of view that's always correct, but also you constantly learn from different experiences of life through interacting to read it, by being in your own space. All those things culminate to what self-care is all about.
Nice. Now you're still tuned in to the Youth Care Podcast brought to you by Copa Rose, and we would like to know, what are your go-to self-care practices? You can send them in the comment section down below, or basically while you are resharing this post, to basically engage with family and friends and let us know what your go-to self-care is. And I promise you, Albert and I are going to read all the comments and respond. Right, Albert?
Exactly.
Nice.
What did your views?
Nice. Now, I know you guys didn't ask me, but I'm going to say it still. I feel like bathing also is a form of self-care.
It is.
And I'm going to emphasize a lot, especially on boys, men.
Hey.
No?
That's why.
Because when it's summer, we're constantly complaining about you getting deodorants, about you smelling fresh. Brushing your teeth twice a day is a form of self-care. Bathing twice a day, especially when it's hot like now, is a form of self-care. Yes, chip your nails, wash your ears. That's a form of self-care. Nice. Yeah. So bathing is also a form of self-care. Like they've mentioned, sleeping too does help. Go out, take a walk, listen to music. Now, there's this misconception of drinking and people thinking
Let's go.
yeah, one would argue to say drinking is a form of self-care, especially now. I know this conversation is focused on adolescents and young people, but we also do have young people that are working, young people that are in uni, and you've been to uni, college, or just some form of education, right? And most of the times after exams, people want to go and drink and say, hey, I need to take care of myself, I'm stressed, And then also you find that even people, like after writing their grade 12 exams, like they want to celebrate and have a good time, what do? They go out to drink, right? So is drinking also part of self-care? So that we just remove the misconception around it.
I think, personally thinking, I would want to say it's
Objectively.
not. Yes, but I'm not against it. Because it just depends on how often you drink. Because you need to understand your tolerance levels. One, you need to understand it, because you can be drinking and drinking and drinking, but you're building some type of dependency or the alcohol or substances in general. So yes, if you find ways in which you can relax, when you're taking a sip of wine, can be a sip of whiskey, for us whiskey connoisseurs,
Okay.
but I don't put it on my self-care package.
Yeah.
But as long as it's just helping you unwind, if it's not detrimental to your health, I think it's a small nut. You can add it to your self-care package. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of wine, a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah.
Just as long as you do not abuse, as long as it doesn't hinder your productivity levels.
Yeah.
You need to be able to work after your self-care. It should help you recuperate. It should help you unwind. And it's, carry on with what you're doing.
Yeah. Now, before we wind up and conclude our conversation for today, how is time management and setting boundaries a part of self-care, or how important is it? Because I think most of the times when you have a friend who is like easygoing and then they put boundaries, they're like, I don't like this, I don't like that. They'll be like, And then also time management, Zambians don't keep time.
For real.
Zambians do not keep time. Like, is time management, timekeeping, boundaries also a form of self-care, and how can one incorporate that into their space?
I believe that when you have those elements, it makes you a very disciplined person. I believe that when you're a disciplined person, it's going to be easy for you to tackle certain things in a more calculated manner. Because now you know that when you set time for yourself, you know how you're going to plan on how you're going to tackle a particular issue or particular problem. You will know how you're going to conversate with people and how you're going to take them. Because it really helps when you are organized, number one. Self-care is all about organizing yourself. So you need to be organized. That's why time management is also very, very effective when it comes to self-care. I think it also helps you protect your mental health.
All the time.
Heavy on
Protect your mental health.
At missing the bus.
Exactly. Unfortunately, life doesn't always go the way you plan for it to go, but protect yourself. Have time to be yourself. Have time to recuperate. have time to set boundaries, because at some point you also don't want to be a pushover. You don't want people to always detect your life and say, do this, do this. Well, you know, you set boundaries, you know what you're going to prioritize yourself.
So how do you set boundaries then? Say there's Olivia who's in Chawama watching us right now, and she's saying, you know what, I want to have boundaries, but like I've been this person who's just an easy goer. How do I set boundaries now and say, no guys, I don't want to go watch soccer, I want to read a book. Or no, I want to do yoga instead of going out to the club.
Number one, learn to say no. I understand saying no sometimes sounds very, defensive.
And selfish. Your friends want to spend time with you. Why do you want to say no?
Like, listen, yes, you can spend time, but it's not all the time. Sometimes you need
Time away.
time away from your friends. It's essential to say no. Like, I feel like saying no will save you a lot of things, from time, from distractions as well. Because at that particular moment, you're thinking of yourself. You're not being selfish, but you're thinking of yourself. You're thinking of your well-being. You're thinking of how is Dariso going to be a better person for tomorrow? How is Dariso going to be a better person for Albert? How am I going to be a better person to help you, Olivia? You get.
Yeah.
So sometimes saying no, it's you have to say no. I think I personally as well, I used to be a pushover. Somewhat, okay, let me say somewhat still, but I feel like if I can see that the activity is beneficial for me, I would jump on it. But if I know that I'm not really going to benefit, I'll just be like, no. Like, personally on my end, I don't usually go out clubbing. So I have friends who want to go clubbing, and sometimes it's like,
That's not my thing.
no, I'm not feeling it, babe. There's nothing wrong with saying no. Because you prioritize yourself. If you feel like, I need to go rest. And that, I need to.
It's your pocket. It's not every time you're going to be out chilling with
But
the guys.
still, even if you have the resources to go clubbing, if you are not in it, you're allowed to say no. And you shouldn't feel bad of saying no, because at that moment, you just want your you time. I want me time.
Now, I have a very important question before Albert chips in and we close off. And this is probably off the script. So, this is a risk, but I'm asking it for you guys. That's how much I care about you. How can one practice self-care in their sexual life? Let's say this is someone who's sexually active or they're exploring their sexuality. How can they best practice self-care in that space? Because you've spoken about mental, physical, eating healthy, working out, taking walks, playing soccer, bathing and all that. But how do I protect myself and practice self-care with my sexuality?
Number one, communicate. I feel like that's one thing that we don't talk about, especially in our relationships, because we want to guard our relationship when we are not afraid to have those tense conversations, those risk conversations, because we're scared of losing our partner, because maybe we're going to get that that look of, so you don't love me enough to just go eat the flow. I feel like number one, have conversations. Have conversations with your partner. Have those deliberate conversations. That's one thing that I will emphasize. Have deliberate conversations. It's not all the time that it's always going to be sweet and candy colored. No. That what happens when you have an argument? You still want to be in that cupcake phase? No. Like, we're human. We are constantly learning. You're not going to know somebody just by a certain duration of time, because people constantly change. People are growing. So people change.
Even
People do change.
Yes, Albert, people do change.
People do change, you're right.
Yes,
but
people do change.
if it's beneficial for you, if it's beneficial for your partner, if it's beneficial for the relationship, that's an healthy change. It's not a change whereby you start to grow apart, but that change should help bring a bond. It should make you guys closer.
I will give flurry to this one. Let's say two people dating, all right? I'm in charge of my self-care, right?
Yes.
You're in charge of my self-care, right? You're not, let's say we are together. How do we align our goals together? Because let me say, my personal growth.
This is about to turn into therapy.
Let's say my also go very towards the opposite direction, yours towards the opposite direction. But to me, it's healthy. And yours is healthy, but when we try to put ourselves together.
You're not aligning. Break up.
Yes.
No?
How do you go about it?
I feel first of all, I'm not a relationship.
I told you he wants therapy.
I would told
you he wants therapy.
What you just say is, I think that's
but once therapy.
What? I feel like communicating helps align what you want for yourself,
Yeah.
also for the relationship.
Yeah.
Number one, communicate. If your maybe say your plans or your ideas don't culminate together,
Yeah.
unfortunately, try to re-strategize the relationship. I feel like that's. I won't go the drastic way. I won't go the drastic way, but I think that's a choice that both of you have to make.
Yeah.
Because if you feel, because a relationship is about building, guys. It's not just free fun. That's the. I personally, I think that's what relationship is about. So you need to understand what your values are, understand what your partner's values are, and discuss it out from there. Because at the end of the day, you also want to prioritize yourself, because you're also developing as a human being.
Yeah.
So you need to know what is essential for my development, what is essential for her development, and what's essential for our relationship at the end of the day. Yeah, because it's not just you. You're also responsible for someone else's emotion. Unfortunately, it's not just you. It's not me. It's us.
Yeah.
When you're with somebody, understand why you're in that relationship.
It's a we thing.
It's a we thing.
Now we are wrapping up, but before we close, also what I think with regards to like sexual self-care. Not even a thing. Sexual self-care. It could be.
Yes, we can coin it.
Yeah. Sexual self-care is, I think this is something that we always speak about on the Youth Care talk show and our podcast is condomize, abstain, especially for young students, young individuals that are still in high school, primary. Abstain from sex, delay your sexual debuts, very, very important. And if you're going to be sexually active, stick to one sexual partner. It's healthy, it's hygienic, and it's really going to save you a lot. And also use contraceptions if you're going to engage in sex, but also just practice safe sex and condomize all the time.
Indeed.
Let me just trigger Nelly so we'll see.
No, actually, I was just adding on to what she was saying. I think another thing, set boundaries. It's not just that my partner wants this, I must give them because we're in a relationship. Set boundaries. Your no must be no. Remember when I said say no? Say no as well. Your relationship. You will have the right to say no. Your body is not for the next person to just abuse.
Ooh,
You have the right to say no.
Say no,
So
girls.
if you're not in that particular
Yeah.
mood for whatever you want to engage in with your partner,
Say no.
And your partner must be mature enough to understand. Say, okay, no.
No is
No is no, guys.
No is a
Protect
complete
yourself,
sentence.
and no is no. There's nothing I know. Maybe we started yada yada. No. But no is no, guys.
No is no. Now we have come to the end of this particular episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Self-care is your right, so do ensure that you definitely enjoy this right. And remember, our hashtags is my health, my responsibility, your health, your responsibility. This talk show podcast was brought to you by Codpa Rose, and we're super excited to be here. Join us next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.